Hello and welcome everybody. I'm Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com and I've got the August horoscope overview. Okay, so this is just a quick overview about everything that's happening in August, but particularly I do want to talk about what the demon star, which is Algol, the eye of Medusa in the constellation of Perseids. I want to talk about what she's up to because she's active right now, and there will also be some, I guess, ongoing August aftermath as well. So that's why I'm talking about it. Plus we'll have the Perseids Meteor Shower, which are the meteors coming from the constellation of Perseus, and Medusa is there with a head cut off. And Algol is actually known as the eye of Medusa. Okay, we'll be able to see that, particularly if you're in the northern hemisphere. And if you're in Australia or New Zealand, as far as Australia goes, it's basically from the Gold Coast and up. So north of the Gold Coast, you may be able to see that. Okay, it'll be the timing is basically 11th of July through to the 20th of July for the actual Uranus Mars Algol conjunction. But the Perseids Meteor Shower starts in July, the end of July, and goes right into August. Okay, that's 60 meteors per hour, so it's quite a show looking north. The other thing that's happening in August is that the Corona Borealis, it's called T Corona Borealis, it erupts every 80 years, and these are very significant explosions that are like hydrogen bombs or nuclear bombs. I don't really know much about bombs, but they're very significant, and we will see them here on Earth 3,000 light years away. So this is basically about Ariadne's crown, it's called, this constellation. It looks like a crown, and if you look into Greek mythology, you'll see that she was betrayed and abandoned, but she let go of it basically and found true love with somebody else. And sort of like Medusa, who was a cursed, raped woman, she, was also very sadly betrayed and disappointed, and then the hero Perseus comes along and cuts off a head. So I don't think he's a true hero in my book. Anyway, I'll try and do another video about that because that's a great big huge story and it affects everybody. So different star signs will have Algol in different houses. Okay, significantly Donald Trump has Algol in his house of career, and it is conjunct his MC. So this is basically saying that his whole life direction and vocation is being influenced by misfortune, and violence is possible as well, and we've just seen that happen. Let's go to the board right now. I'm going to talk about your horoscope, but Algol, I'll talk about that first. The eye of Medusa, it peaks on the 15th. And it's active, like it's most intense from the 11th of July to the 20th of July. Okay, and then we have the August aftermath. That's what that says, is all the text is bled into each other, each of the letters. And here's Algol here, and it's a very strange glyph and very complicated, and each of these little elements have meanings. But if you turn it that way, 90 degrees, you can see it sort of looks like half a head, a person, the arms, the belly, and then the snake's tail. I don't know if you've seen any sort of movies when Medusa is portrayed. She doesn't have legs, she has a snake's tail with two horizontal lines across the legs here, you could imagine, which basically says the energy to the legs is blocked. She can't move forward in life. She's stuck constantly in the past of the terrible things, traumas and dramas that happened to her. Okay, so it's here 26.5 degrees Taurus on the 1st of August. It's going to be just passed over the Uranus here, and it'll be, very much conjunct Uranus, and then conjunct Mars as well. And so this suggests that the unpredictable, violent misfortunes have not finished, okay? Mars is a planet of warfare and aggression. Uranus completely is unpredictable and can be violent. It can be explosive, okay? So explosions, we might see something happen. So I would be saying it's not a good time to go to political events at the moment. So yeah, please watch yourself generally. Okay, but looking at the rest of the influences, what's going down in August, we have new moon in Leo on the 4th of August here, and it's generally about the new moon would generally be about new beginnings. It's like blossoming, new ideas, instigating things, new projects, new jobs. For Aries, this would be in the 5th house, so it could be new creative projects, new romance, being closer to the world of the child, awe and wonder and that sort of thing. It'll be different for every star sign, but for Aries it will be here in the 5th house. So the new moon is a news cycle. Venus is going into Virgo also on the 4th of the 8th up here. And sorry, it's a bit of a dog's breakfast. So Venus passes into Virgo. And what this suggests is that it could be lovely, smooth sorts of energies in your normal everyday work, in your routine, polite, dealing with polite, courteous people. It's good for love. You know, if you are with somebody, you might find your relationship goes much better than usual. Things are swimmingly well. You could also beautify your workplace if you're working or somewhere where you spend a lot of time in the day. You know, you might be working away and you might come up with some ideas to beautify, do some renovations or something like that. So Venus in Virgo is also about service, helping other people, serving those that you work with or that you spend a lot of time with on a daily basis. It's also good if you've got pets. Your relationship with your pets could really improve. This 6th house is associated with pets and work and routine and that sort of thing. So that applies to that applies to Aries. Okay, so Mercury, I mentioned before, is retrograde from the 5th of August to the 28th of August. And Mercury retrograde is all about misunderstandings, unfortunately. Sometimes miscommunications, problems with transactions with credit cards or debit cards. It's you know, the curiosity level or the intellectual ability may sort of retreat. Maybe you're not as logical as you normally are, that sort of thing. It's a great time for scammers, so be careful there. Mercury retrograde could really bring out those people that are trying to scam you, especially if you've got a website or, you know, your credit card details and stuff like that. So do check your credit card statement. Mercury retrograde will go back into Leo on the 14th. So it's here and then it'll go backwards. And in Leo, it's like you probably would be more outgoing, in the spotlight, warm and generous, and people notice you. But in retrograde, it's more internalized. So you might not feel like being in the spotlight. People might even say, go on, get up on stage, or you know, let's do a podcast, or let's get your message out there in the world, but you might not feel it because the energy is more within you, okay? Leo likes to be the boss of the wash. Leo is the king of the jungle. And you might just be feeling more confident within yourself, but not actually do very much about it. The full moon is in Aquarius on the 19th, and so this suggests that there could be some turbulence going down in Aquarius. It's all about innovation, science. Again, it could be to do with the internet. So do watch for scammers, because you know that with Mercury retrograde, you might find people approaching you online or on your phone even, and the full moon can bring up turbulence. Sometimes it's to do with a woman, and you might find that there's some sort of discussions that are miscommunicated, and it can just turn into a bit of a dog's breakfast, okay? And in Aquarius, sometimes Aquarians are a bit detached. So somebody that you normally have a lot to do with, they might sort of disappear. And even in their disappearance, that feels a bit out of character, or perhaps a bit choppy. You know, relationships can be a bit choppy. And for Aries, of course, that's in the 11th house. So that's all their friends and groups and associates. But I'll talk more about that when I do Aries horoscope. Jupiter is squaring Saturn on the 19th of August, okay? This is really not comfortable, I must say. Jupiter's all about expansion. It wants to get things done. It's great for mentoring and teaching. But Saturn is sort of the opposite. It's more conservative. Not dead opposite, but they're just not on the same page. Saturn wants to be more cautious. Saturn wants to calm things down, not speed things up. Jupiter wants to get on with it, you know, and grow as a person, and Saturn wants to consolidate and put in some structure for what you already know. So if you can find the best of both planets, Jupiter and Saturn, that's how you're going to have real manifestation success. So you want to have the desire of Jupiter to, you know, really expand and grow, and you want to have the structure and stability of Saturn to put that desire into something physical that will actually work. So that's about being grounded and down to earth. Saturn can be your friend, kind of. It's not a warm, effusive sort of friendship, but it's that kind of relationship that after a while, once you and Saturn have a relationship and you know each other, it can work to your benefit. But that usually takes a long time, doesn't happen in 5 minutes, because Saturn likes older people. Saturn likes people with experience that have done the hard yards and been around the block a few times. So yeah, it won't happen overnight, but it will happen, okay? So if you are mature, Jupiter squaring Saturn is probably not going to bother you that much, okay? Put some structure, some stability in, be diligent, be responsible, work hard, and you'll get the best out of this influence. The thing about squares is they're completely workable, even if they are challenging, okay? Some challenges there, but you can work through the challenges. So, you know, there can be ultimately success can come to you. So Mercury turns direct on the 28th. So it would be good to travel, say, about a week or so after that date. If you can avoid traveling in August, that's what I would do, because either side of these dates, from the 5th of August to the 28th, plus a week either side, it's not the best time for travelling. Things can be delayed. You need to allow extra time between legs of travel, because, you know, things can go belly up. It's not a good time for signing contracts either, because often you sign it under the idea that certain things are going to happen, and then you find out there's some sort of change. So there could be some issues there. Try to avoid signing anything if you can help it. Doesn't mean it won't work out, it just means it could be some delays. It's great to go back, say, before the 28th of July and complete anything that you haven't already finished. Mercury loves to complete stuff from the past, so that can help you. Then we have Venus in Libra from the 29th. This is beautiful. Venus is at home in Libra. It's all about justice. It's all about fairness. So the August aftermath that we're all going to go through, it can come to a good conclusion at the end of the month. Venus will smooth things over. Venus will compromise and look at different areas and try to find the best solution, okay? It doesn't mean it's going to be completely, fixed or rectified, but it can make things more smooth. So we've got to get there. That's right at the end of the month. It's fabulous for Librans, obviously, and probably for Taurians as well, because Taurus is also ruled by Venus, okay? It's great for all sorts of relationships, particularly love relationships, though, where there's true love, but it makes everything just so much more pleasant than what it was previously, and boy, I think we'll need it. So that's how the overview is looking this month. I will put a link up also about an article I've written about Medusa and Perseids, and also the eruptions of Corona Borealis. I'll put a link to that. So that's sort of like something that you can look at. I've been getting so much coming through psychically about Medusa lately, and had a couple of encounters even. You have to be a bit careful, though. Medusa basically hates everyone, and probably herself as well. She probably hates herself the most. So it just keeps coming to me at night, and all sorts of things. So I think I'm supposed to do something with this. Interestingly, this top, I don't know if you can see, it's got a button here. I've bought some buttons. Now, I actually bought these about a month ago, and I thought they've just got a woman's face on them. That's all I could see, but it's actually Medusa. So I didn't know when I bought them, so I bought them because this is like a cape type thing, and it's winter here, it's cold, and I wanted some buttons, so I thought I'll buy these. And then when I'm sewing them all on the other day, because they took a while to get here, then I noticed it's actually Medusa with the snakes coming out of her head. So it's like that's why I'm getting so much come through about it, So, and the thing about Medusa is she's in everybody. Everybody's got that energy deep within them. I think women have more of an affinity with Medusa, and men might struggle to sort of get in touch with the Medusa energy. But it's something we all need to look at, because Medusa is about being silenced by the patriarchy. Medusa is also not allowed to think for herself, which is why she's had her whole head chopped off. And so I think it's very important for women to really look at the Medusa energy to find their voice and find their independent thinking. Okay, so I'm going to do some work on this. But yeah, a lot more to come. Anyway, good luck with August and the rest of July. Have a great month. Subscribe and be alive if you're new as well. Okay, thank you so much. I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please visit my website, absolutesoulsecrets.com, for all things spiritual. Have a lovely day.